We are going live on YouTube and on Instagram this morning. And hello, there's Instagram. All right. Good morning, both Instagram and YouTube. It's the Hicks Brunson Eyewear Friday morning live show. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, or who will be joining us later. Or if you're watching this and it's this Sunday and you're just relaxing around the house, thank you so much for being here too. We're so happy you're here. We're broadcasting from Hicks Brunson Eyewear Studios in Tulsa, in the heart of Midtown, in Utica Square Shopping Center. And this is our live show, Becky Jo. We've got some fun. We've got Tinted Lens Talk Part 2.
Part 2. Yeah,
so we're going to talk about adding color to your vision with tint and mirror and transitions combos. We may not have been live on Instagram, Becky Jo. Instagram's having a hard time connecting today, but everybody on YouTube, thanks so much for being here. Thanks for liking the live stream and subscribing to the Hicks Brunson Eyewear YouTube channel. We love to talk about our favorite tinted transitions lens looks on this channel, and today we're going to talk a lot about tinted transitions lens tint mirror combos. So we got flash mirrors, we've got tints without flash mirrors, and we've got all kinds of things to share. And we're going to share different color mirrors, different color tints.
Yes.
And then we're going to show what they look like when they darken with transitions lenses. And then we're going to give some of our advice on if you're interested. Anson Liu, thank you so much for jumping in. Hello, my friend. Good to see you. From all around the world, thank you so much for joining in. Our friends from overseas. Good morning, Barry, on Instagram. So we're going to share our big takeaway with how to do tint and mirror on lenses. If your goal is primarily for outdoor use or nighttime wear, club wear, or evening wear, it might be a little different than indoor, everyday, professional environment use. So depending on what your goals are, and then we're going to open up the Q&A so people can ask questions. If you have questions during the stream, hold those questions until the end, because we will answer those questions, but it's hard for us to do it during the stream while we're in the middle of demonstrating. Yeah, so what are you wearing?
So I am wearing a T Henri, it's called the Ghost, and this is one of my favorite oversized aviators. This does have a transition on it as well. So this is sea glass at 40%, sea glass to blush. It is a phenomenal color to wear. And when I transition it...
Wait a minute though, I'm also wearing sea glass to blush.
You're also wearing it, so
try them on again, but mine's not as dark as yours.
No.
Yours is 40, mine's about 25.
Yeah.
So can you guys see the difference? Like 25 is just a hint of tint here. 40, you can definitely see that color showing up on the face a lot more.
Now you can still see my eyes through this. However, one thing I want to mention, because I've talked with a couple clients this week about percentages of tint. When it comes to darker colors, a 40% is not going to look like this if you're talking about Merlot or Mocha or even turquoise, because they have a lot more color density to them to start out with. But sea glass is a really soft color. So even at 40%, you can still clearly make out my entire eye. You can see all of the detail of my eye. So it's safe to do a lighter color at a higher percentage and still pair it with a transition.
Some colors come across darker looking. I find it's more the grayish colors do come across a little darker looking than the brownish colors do, is kind of what my feeling experience has been. What transitions color did you do?
So mine has extra active brown on it because I am team brown. It's a thing, it really is. I like the way brown looks through, or the way that I like brown looking through at the world. That's what I meant to say.
If you all are team gray or team brown, leave us a comment right now if you're team gray or team brown. So Becky Jo, you have extra active brown.
Yes.
I'm also team brown, but I have emerald. So I'm going to be a traitor to my team, and I'm gonna represent the emerald, transitions emerald. So so here we go, fully activated. So
I have an amazing brown aviator when I'm done, and Daniel has an amazing green navigator.
Yeah, green navigator, which, green navigator, like now that you put it that way, it's kind of a nod to the original Pilot with the Calibar green glass lens.
Most assuredly.
Yeah, Brian's team gray on YouTube. Yep, and Barry's team brown all day on Instagram. Yep. So, all right, we're 50-50 now. Let's see if some more votes come in. But yeah, this is the emerald, and it's a nice gray-green color. I wonder if you can see how good it looks there. Yeah, it's hard to tell.
It is.
Like emerald, it looks kind of grayish. you know, especially with these bright lights we've got shining on it. And we're going to talk about that in a moment whenever we talk about how the mirrors combined with the tints affect how easy it is to see our eyes, because it occurred to us a while back. We've got these really bright lights shining on us, and sometimes, you know, when we're just living our daily lives, we're not walking around with super bright stage lights shining at us, and so it can sometimes make the tints look a little lighter when we're talking to you guys. So what do we have in the way of mirror transitions lens looks? Like, what do you have here? Your Leisure?
So this is my Leisure, and it has leaf green at 40%. Where's our little white bag at? If you've noticed, there's a trend here. I prefer it a little bit darker because my eyes are pretty light sensitive. So it is 40% to clear. There is a silver mirror on here, and this is done with extra active graphite green. So what we were talking about, there is an enormous amount of light on us right now. You can still see my eyes. If I tip my head up a little bit, it's easier to see my eyes through this lens. This is an incredibly flat lens. It is not curved. It is a very thin lens that is a very opaque color, because the edge of this lens, you can still see my thumb through it. So it is a very clear acetate. However, if we turn these lights off just for a second, or at least one of them.
Before we do that, let's show side by sides.
Side by sides.
So what color mirror?
So this is a silver mirror.
And this is a gold mirror, and this is a G15 to lime base tint. G15 to lime, about 35%.
Yeah.
With a gold mirror. Now you can kind of see my eyes, but I've got the bright light shining on me again. So what we were about to do, let's turn off the lights for a second. Okay. So this is just normal overhead lighting, and you can kind of tell, and a little bit of natural light coming in through the windows. But you can tell, look how hard it is to see Becky Jo's eyes now.
Yeah, so it's very difficult to tell that I have eyes in here.
Yeah. So good look for a lot of time outdoors, awesome for driving.
Oh, awesome. This is like super amazing for driving in this.
Yeah, sitting outside on the back porch, reading, enjoying being comfortable in the sun. But indoors, depending on what you do, if you have to do a lot of communication with people, with clients, with associates, and you have to be able to make good eye contact. Not necessarily the look you want. You know, you might want to leave off the mirror and just do the light indoor tint like this. So yeah, we'll bring, here, I got it. Yeah, so
now you can see us again.
Depending on, depending on what you do, you know, that's gonna matter whether or not you do a mirror and how much tint you do. So even a light tint with a mirror, the frame choice matters, and I'm going to show you that in a second here. This is a thicker plastic, or it's actually a nylon-based polyamide material, but it's thick. It doesn't let a lot of light in. And I showed this a little bit last week, but it's worth showing again because this is important. This tint is about every bit as dark as this tint. Both of these have mirrors. Now they are different colors, but look at the difference, how much easier it is to see my eyes behind this one. The main difference is thin metal frame, a lot more light can come in from the top and sides, and I think the other difference is the curvature. There's a lot of curve of this lens, and curved lenses just tend to be less reflective than flat lenses like this one. It makes it so much harder to see the eyes behind the tinted mirrored lens. So that's kind of our big takeaway when you're trying to decide, should I do a mirror? Should I do a flash mirror with my tint, or should I just do a tint? What are your goals? Is it for outdoor, casual, maybe kind of cool fashion evening wear, but eye contact not necessarily as important? Or is it like daytime professional environment where you have to communicate with people and make eye contact? Maybe you don't do the mirror in that setting. So those are some of our big takeaways there. But we want to show like some, let's show the comparison. So what color transitions is yours?
So mine is extra active graphite green. So graphite green is available in a bunch of different materials, but it is only available as an extra active in polycarbonate. So I am rocking extra active green with a silver mirror. This is phenomenal to drive in. This is absolutely amazing to drive in. It gives you that like high contrast that you are accustomed to with a brown, but it kind of gives you a little bit of that neutral too that those of you that like gray are gonna get. So
mine is also extra active graphite green transitions, but it's a gold mirror. So look at the difference.
Yeah,
the silver mirror
it does change the color.
Yeah, right?
appearance of how it appears from outside looking in.
And this is a mocha color frame, so I wanted the gold mirror. It just complements, I think, the mocha so well. Ditto, you've got you've got some silver.
Some silver going
like
on.
White gold plated
White gold up
titanium.
here. So
Silver mirror.
definitely a great look. I thought about this because I personally want to wear these in here, even they're a little dark though. But we have so much overhead lighting in here. It does make my eyes feel really comfortable and very soothing in here with all of this overhead lighting. But it is very, very hard for my clients to see my eyes, and I want them to be able to see me when I talk with them.
Yeah, so, go with the light indoor tint around 30%, do the sea glass to blush or whatever tint color you like, which, by the way, the blush color is very flattering on a lot of us. Just adds some color to the skin, so I love the blush in the lower portion of the lens. The Bali to watermelon is another great tint combo that I love. We need to show some just transition colors without the mirror necessarily. And
so this one doesn't have a mirror, and this is rosewood to clear, and this is on an extra active brown. This is in a leisure. This is in a rose gold leisure. Absolutely love, 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 love this. It is super comfortable, easy to wear. And I did the rosewood at 40% again because, I just prefer it to be a little dark. This is super, I totally can wear this all day long in here. It's not too dark. I'm very careful about the colors I choose to do that dark for wearing at work, but this just makes an amazing little aviator to wear in here. I love this. Thank you very much. They are amazing. They are super, super comfortable to wear. They turned out fabulous. I love the double bar. I've been looking for something like this, and this just spoke severe volumes to me, and I love it. They turned out great.
So I'm going to share two different Ruby Transitions lens looks that I've got. One is this Tom Davies 729, I believe the model is, and then one is my T Henri Taycan. And on my Taycan, I did the burgundy gradient tint, very light. Now this is what I'm talking about, very light tint, maybe barely a 20%, maybe a hair over 20%, but not much, with a gold flash mirror. Of course, this is a Ruby Transition, no mirror, no tint, so look how clear, look how clear these lenses. Gen S lenses are very clear indoors. Just that little bit of tint and that mirror, and all of a sudden there's a lot more going on. But we'll look at the Ruby colors and what they look like side by side. The Tom Davies with no mirror and just a premium anti-reflective coating. So you're going to see this fantastic ruby color. And
Those are awesome.
Isn't that nice? I love it because the red acetate, the navy blue titanium, it glows when you put the ruby lens next to it. And then now we'll look at the T Henri Taycan, which is maybe my favorite new frame in my personal collection. Just a beautiful frame. And we're going to talk more about, next week, we're going to talk about luxury details and titanium finishes and stones and crystals, and we'll talk more about the Taycan next week. But let's look at the Ruby with the flash gold mirror in the Taycan. That's just a phenomenal look together when you pair those two versus the Ruby. Look how red the Ruby looks when you have no mirror. When you put that flash gold on there, you still have a hue of that ruby kind of color.
Oh yeah, it still comes through.
The undertones of that red come through, but it just looks so much softer and more subtle, and it complements the thick black acetate of the frame so much better. If you're one who doesn't want this like super bright pop of the ruby, but again, what are your goals? Are you wanting good eye contact, professional environment during the day? You probably want no mirror, and you want maybe a light tint if you do a tint at all, or you just need to be careful because a thicker acetate frame, as mentioned, when you add the mirror and a light tint, it'll hide the eyes. A thin wire rim frame with some curve won't hide the eyes nearly as much like this one with a 35% Bali to watermelon and a flash blue mirror. So I hope that we're making sense on describing those two things a lot, because people ask us for our advice all the time.
Most assuredly.
How dark to make the tint, whether or not to add a flash mirror.
And my first question when I talk with people is, what is your profession? Because if you're like, if you're working in a hospital, if you are working in a court, if you are working in a service industry where you need to make eye contact with people, a mirror with a tint may not necessarily be the best choice all of the time.
Yeah.
It just might not be. And the same thing with certain professions with extra active transitions. If you are working in an environment where your office is just a wall of windows, you may need Gen S transitions versus extra active transitions, just because you don't want your lenses to be 40 to 60% of that color.
So you're talking about, let's explain what we're talking about. So when you wear extra active transitions, it's the only technology in the world that can darken a little bit behind the windshield, because it activates not just based on UV light, but it activates on visible light too. So what Becky Jo is saying is, if you're sitting in an office next to really large windows and your desk is right next to some really big windows, if there's enough visible light coming in, your extra active transitions
start darkening.
It'll darken a little bit. And then if you got to get on a Zoom call and talk to your clients or have a professional meeting, and you are one who might be a little bit self-conscious if it looks like your lenses have a little tint to them,
you might look like a mob boss.
Well,
a little bit.
Some people perceive it that way. Other people, it doesn't matter, but you just have to think these things through. What is important to you?
Yeah.
So
I'm going to talk about a transition lens that maybe sometimes doesn't get as much credit or as much recognition as it should. So this is Drivewear. And Drivewear never becomes clear. It is on a green polarized base, but it changes between brown and amber depending on how much UV light hits this lens. This is fantastic for driving. This is my personal Lusso, which is a T Henri frame, which I absolutely love. It is phenomenal to wear. Depending on how much UV light hits this lens, it's going to turn somewhere between brown and amber. But it's always on a polarized green base. This is super comfortable for low light to full sun. It is very, very comfortable.
But not for night driving.
Not for night driving. The sun needs to be coming up. It needs to be visible.
Sun needs to be up.
It needs to be up. But this is a phenomenal sunglass because it's never going to be not dark enough or too dark. You can go into a gas station, into the grocery store, because I have mistakenly worn this into a grocery store and done my entire grocery shopping with these on, and then realized, wow, things seem a little bit dark when you're at the checkout.
It's bright enough in the grocery store. They got a lot of bright overhead lights. They've got skylights that when it's in that indoor or that low light green mode, it's plenty comfortable to wear in a bright comfortable. Yeah.
And it is super comfortable. And I have two different designs of it. So I have it with a mirror, which is right here, and I have it without a mirror. And it will still, I'm going to do one lens here. It will still change color with that mirror on here. So one lens is going to look slightly different than the other. You've got a little bit more green here, a little bit more amber here. So this is a solution for those of you that want a green polarized lens, but you may not like the way green always looks. This is an option. Transitions Drivewear. It is a phenomenal lens for driving. It gives you that high contrast. It gives you that nice, good look through it. And you can put it in just about anything. And it is going to be a phenomenal lens to look through. And I just thought it needed a little teeny bit of time to talk about it because it is a transition and it is a great lens.
Okay, so we are going to take questions here very, very soon, so hold those for just a moment, please. I have a pair we just finished up, and I want to share it with everybody. This just came out of our lab yesterday. This is the Masunaga, the beautiful Masunaga GMS 122T. Becky Jo, you own this frame in your personal collection. It is one of the most comfortable frames I think you have said you own. Yeah. This is a wine gradient at 60% density in the top, fading to a lighter shade. It does have a flash silver mirror, so this would be one of those examples of like better for driving, better for outdoor. I mean, fine for indoor. I mean, I can see just fine indoor. Yeah. But again, you know, do you need people to see your eyes? Maybe not, you know, depending on your environment of what you're doing. But we put it on a transition extra active gray. And so a phenomenal look for driving and for function. because it gets nice and dark. When the gray mixes with the red, I want you to see this. When the gray mixes with the red, you can see that 60% wine gradient that I left unactivated. The gray, I guess on camera it looks pretty gray, but in real life it still has that wine undertone effect to it, which means that even for a gray, still has kind of a reddish tinge, which gives you sharper contrast and clarity for driving. So I don't think we've done this combination yet for anybody that I can think of. Done something similar, but this is just a really cool look. And of course, look at the look here with the silver mirror being so much more visible when you have a flash mirror. We've talked about this before. I don't know if we talked about it today, but the darker the lens is behind the mirror, the more the mirror shows, the more the mirror becomes visible. So they're kind of, the mirrors look different depending on the darkness of the lens, but isn't this a great shape?
It is. I love it. I absolutely love it. And mine, I'm thinking about redoing and putting a tint in it because mine is just a clear lens. Yeah. But I absolutely love it.
Look at that tortoiseshell. Look at that antique gold, that bridge. The nose pads are beta titanium, adjustable. Absolutely one of the most comfortable frames maybe in the Masunaga collection because it just doesn't weigh anything. The temples are very flexible. I love the look. And we do have a special event coming up soon with Masunaga.
Most assuredly.
Watch for that announcement. And if you're not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. That way you won't miss any of our upcoming videos. Okay, I think we might have talked about everything unless, do people want to see the PhotoFusion X Blue?
I think they do.
I mean, this is my favorite 000, my Masunaga black, the most popular, maybe the most popular frame in the Masunaga collection. If you want a good vibrant blue photochromic lens, you got to go with the Zeiss PhotoFusion X Blue. Look at that blue. That is
cobalt
just
blue.
Cobalt blue, just amazing blue. And you know, I think I've talked about this a little bit before. You know, no tint, no mirror on this. This is just a clear Zeiss Duravision Platinum AR coating, PhotoFusion X Blue. So rich. If you're one who is not into seeing the world in a very vibrant blue way, don't know if I can, there, maybe there. It's very vibrant. It's not as gray-based as the Transition Sapphire, which I guess we don't have that here for comparison at the moment, but very vibrant, very cool looking. Like if you want to kick up the style, you put this in like a silver titanium frame, a silver aviator, like such a good style.
Beautiful.
Such a good style. But even in the polished black, it looks awesome. I love the way this one looks. So, questions. Dressed for Ames. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name on Instagram. Would extra active brown flash mirror without tint be okay for night driving? 100% yes it would.
Yes it would.
Yeah, extra active brown. Do we have one here? Extra active brown with the flash. We have a sample of one at least. Yeah. Yeah, extra active brown with a flash mirror without the tint looks like that. There's no tint, extra active brown, flash gold mirror. I mean, this crystal clear. I mean, other than you do have more reflections. Dressed for a mess. Okay, I can read. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for separating the words. Put the words together as the Instagram handles do, and my brain goes, "What am I looking at?" So, I'm like, dressed for a mess. It makes sense. All right. Yeah. So, it's very clear. Like, look how clear this is. No problem for night driving. I got my first pair of Transitions lenses with a flash mirror probably when they were brand new, whenever that was, maybe 6 or 7 or 8 years ago. Never a problem driving at night. There are some more reflections, and let's see, Anson Liu on Instagram says, I put PhotoFusion X Blue on Lindbergh, now series transparent with diamond flash mirror. It's outstanding. Okay, yeah, yes. Absolutely. There are some more reflections that you'll get on a mirror, but that mostly just affects the outward appearance. If you get a lot of light coming from behind you, you'll see a few more reflections on your own lenses, but we put an anti-reflective coating on the back of a mirrored lens to manage that reflection and make it more, make it a little easier. Still, it's not for everyone. We've had some people who just can't wear mirrors on light or clear lenses because there are some more reflections and it bothers those people. And the only way to find out is
to try it.
Try it. Yeah, it's the only way to find out. So let's see. Were there any other questions? I thought there was one. I don't know if there's any other questions. All right. Well, that might be all she wrote for today.
Might be.
All right. What are we going to do? We're going to keep on rocking and rolling. If you all have any questions, or if you want to do something cool like a custom tinted mirrored transitions lens like one of these that you've seen today, or you have an idea for something new, we'll make all of our contact information available down below. You can find us online at hicksbrunson.com if you're in the Oklahoma area, or even if you're outside the Oklahoma area. We've had an influx of people driving from way
Other
outside
places.
of our area, Texas and Missouri and Arkansas and surrounding areas, to come and see us here. We would love to give you a demonstration, show you all of these things. Or if you can't travel here, we understand that. You can contact us by phone, you can email us, and we have a very good system of working with people to create the eyewear of their dreams, Becky Jo.
Most assuredly,
Yeah.
because what we do is, not many people can accomplish what we do, and we try to give our clients, whether they walk in our door or whether we're on the phone with them, the same time and treatment, so that we can create something for you that no one else is going to be able to do.
We hear that all the time, that we are able to do things that when those of you who see our videos, you go to your local place and you ask to do something like what you saw, and you're told no, and we don't want you to be told no. We want to make it work for you. We want to make it happen. So a lot of stuff is possible to do. Maybe you need a new optician, is what we say around here sometimes.
Yep.
Dressed for a Mess asked, show it darkened, and I think they are referring to the Transitions Style Mirrors lens that I just showed a moment ago. That's extra active brown with a gold flash mirror. That's what it looks like darkened. Of course, very nice in the daytime and driving, and just equally as nice at nighttime and nighttime driving. Vanessa on Instagram, we love you. She says no one else does it here in Austin, Texas. That is such a compliment, because there's a lot good going on the eyewear scene
Yes.
in Austin, Texas, I know. That's what we've got for you guys today. We really appreciate you being here. Next week, Becky Jo, we're doing luxury details.
Yes.
We're going to highlight craftsmanship, acetate finishes, titanium builds, and crystals, Swarovski crystals. All the beautiful luxury details. We're going to highlight some of our favorite designers and eyewear pieces
Most assuredly.
that show all of those things. So join us next Friday. Well, yeah, next Friday
Next
for
Friday.
that. Yeah.
Yep.
And that's what we'll do. So for now, we love you guys. Have a good weekend, everybody. Be safe, and we will see you next week.